Hello guys, and welcome to International Full Stroke Timeline Hangout number 70. This is Potpourri 2, Potpourri number 2. I always used to think Potpourri was, I always used to think it was Potpourri, 2 words, and it was literally like a stew, you know, you put in carrots and peas and cauliflower or whatever, but no, it's the garland of flowers. But this is what this is. This is a mixture. I really will have to do another live hangout, maybe next month. But there's so much I've got so much here to do, and I'm gonna maybe have to do it over 2 nights because I'm under pressure. As I'm sure you all know, the Queen is dead. Really tragic. And now the Clown Prince is king. I really do think she'd live to 100 at least, because her mother lived to 101. That was the last lying state in this country. The Queen Mother died in 2002, and she would have lived even longer if Elizabeth's sister, the younger sister, Princess Margaret, hadn't died. As I've said, we were so lucky that Elizabeth was the oldest, because Princess Margaret was not Queen material. She wasn't even really Princess material. But Elizabeth, she was unique. And some of these idiots online, some demented Nigerian American so-called academic, said she actually died in pain. If you look at the crowds from all over, people from they're not all white, far from it, and shows how much she was loved and admired. I'd like to I never actually saw the Queen in the flesh. I'd like to go myself, but the crowds are saying it could be queuing up to 9 hours. I think if I queue for 9 hours in my condition, I'd end up joining her. Anyway, I'll try to do a live hangout soon. I've got so much to cover, new stuff and old stuff, and it will be literally appropriate. I want to do it in any particular order. What should we do with the Mendy? Yes, the Benjamin Mendy case. There's this soccer player. He's him and his co-defendant have been cleared of 1 count of rape. This is from the Guardian, September 13th. Cleared 1 count of rape on the direction of the judge. The judge made the order after the prosecution offered no further evidence. I wouldn't like to comment on these two guys, because the whole thing is very sordid. Some of these women are clearly whores. We've got evidence of that from she actually got video evidence of that. Some of them are whores in fact, if not in name, and I don't think I'll be included in the full stroke timeline. It's really quite yuck. Some of the evidence was another report. This is from Sky Sports. Warning: this article contains descriptions of a distressing nature. A woman accused Premier League footballer Benjamin Mendy of rape was dancing with him hours after the alleged attack. Of course, being told this is where they come in with this rape trauma syndrome garbage. That oh, this is the sort of thing a rape victim would do. If you're taken in by this sort of flim flam, check out my rape trauma syndrome on the timeline. Got the original paper there and some analysis, not just by me, but by people who know what they're talking about. What have we got here? This is from Scotland, from this is the Scottish Daily Express. I didn't realise there was a Scottish Daily Express. Law Society of Scotland warns judge-led trials are a threat to justice. The Law Society of Scotland backed the idea for trauma-informed courts. Yeah, this is this rape trauma syndrome garbage. Any behaviour by a rape accuser is considered to be consistent with having been raped. So there's basically there's no such thing as culpatory evidence, you know. And well, even if a woman is shown to be lying, if it's demonstrated that she never actually met the guy, that they come up with some flim flam about her being traumatised by an earlier encounter with somebody else, or maybe she was sexually abused as a child. Also, yeah, I mean, there's women are never responsible. Women never lie, and women are never responsible. That's the big thing. I've got something else here from this is. What's this? Former Spring Hill College student accuses rape accuser of slander in counterclaim. Yeah. I think I mentioned this before. Vasil Kakali, he was acquitted of raping Audrey Cox, who at least had the decency not to hide behind anonymity. They're in the criminal trial. Now she's suing him for. Well, she's suing him civilly, and he's replying. I mean, this whole thing is just. The federal civil suit is separate. Cox seeks Al-Kakali responsible for rape and accused the school depriving her of her rights under the federal law known as Title 9. We all know about Title 9. If Title 9 sides with the accused, then he must be innocent. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. As one of Cox's lawyers told the news team she responded after reviewing allegations, we received a copy of the counterclaim. We reviewed it carefully. After that time, we've been able to respond more thoroughly. The suit recounts a number of statements Cox made on Facebook attacking Kakali's character, including that she was hunted down by him and referring to him as a serial rapist. Well, love lost there. And here we have a story from Australia. This is, I found this rather amusing actually. Young powerlifter accused a legendary coach of rape and sexually harassing small-built Asian female students is being sued by him in bombshell defamation case. Yeah, this guy's 67. I'm sure that the last type of woman any man wants to attempt to rape is a powerlifter. She claimed she was pressured into having sex with a respected coach. And he's 67, she's only 22, so I don't know. I mean, this is. I don't know. It shows that Asian women, when they come to the West, they start behaving like white women. But if you classify Australia as a West, I mean, Dory Q claimed Mr. Wilkes had a thing for young Asian girls. Well, I like looking at young Asian girls. Well, I like looking at attractive people. I like looking at attractive cars. But doesn't mean just telegraph India. Let's see what's this. Police cite uninterrupted registration of FIRs, that means first information reports, false cases as reasons for high rate figures in Rajasthan, not Rajasthan. Rajasthan police were reacting to National Crime Records Bureau report, which said the state reported the highest number of rape cases in the country in 2021. As I've said before, rape in India doesn't mean the same as what it means in the West usually. Well, not always. It's rape on promise of marriage, and it's the only country in the world where false rape allegations are frequently made for financial reasons. What we got here? We got another one similar. This is No one would level false rape allegations in conservative non-permissive society like India. Kerala court. What planet are these judges living on? I mean, I don't know. So it's an interesting case law here. R.V. Neville Benson and Henry. This is an English case. I'll have to look that up. Just make a note of that. Yeah, I mean that's uncharacteristic. I thought these Indian judges were wise young. Certainly the Indian police are. They're really hot on false allegations and on real ones as well. Yeah, another one from India here. Oh, it's a similar thing. It's a different report of the same sort of thing. And what's this? Oh, Ricky Martin. Yes, I covered in the last hangout. Ricky Martin. He was a homo. He's been accused of. His nephew accused him of all sorts of things. This is from WFTV 9. Puerto Rican superstar Ricky Martin filed a lawsuit Wednesday against his nephew that accused him of extortion, malicious persecution, abuse of law and damages stemming from false allegations of sexual abuse. Martin's lawyer said the claim by the nephew, which he has since recanted, discussed the sting of millions of dollars in lost income. The lawsuit filed in the US Territories Court of First Instance alleges that Martin had been persecuted, besieged, harassed, stalked and extorted by his troubled nephew for economic reasons. It further alleges that if the nephew doesn't obtain any financial benefit, it further alleges that if the nephew doesn't obtain any financial benefit, he will continue to assassinate the reputation and integrity of the artist. So I think, yeah, he's asking for a restraining order. No, this guy issued a restraining order against Martin. This is a dirty trick that women often use in divorce cases. Amber Heard tried the same thing with Johnny Depp. We've discussed the Depp v Heard in an earlier hangout. I think maybe 68 or 67. Ashley Biden, yes. There's been a lot of controversy over the diary of Ashley Biden, the daughter of so-called president, the former vice president, as some people call him. It was supposed to be stolen, but she left it at the house when she moved, and a couple of people got hold of it, and they sold it or gave it to Project Veritas, who looked it over and decided not to use it. And if you listen to some reports, including on right-wing media, they said that Ashley Biden claims she showered with her father. There's actually a guy who's got a copy. Well, I expect lots of people have got copies, but he had scans of it, of the pages, about 40 pages, and he put the scans on YouTube and narrated, reading it, and I listened to most of it, and I mean, Biden is a creep, you know. He likes sniffing young girls' hair. He's a serial liar and a plagiarist, and now he's going along with the police state. But I mean, she says she thought she had an idea that she was showering with her father when she was younger, but she says she makes allegations. She says things about other people as well, which I think she's a nutter. She's been in therapy. A lot of these women, a lot of American women, if they've been in therapy, they go in their therapy with an eating disorder. They come up thinking they were raped by their own fathers. So I don't place any stock with that. I mean, his son though is a different kettle of fish. He's utterly depraved. There's a case of a Republican politician, Erlinger, who was convicted of rape. Somebody sent that to me and said, "Do you believe this?" Yes, I do. He took this young woman to his hotel room, a teenager, invited her to his hotel room, which she shouldn't have done, but the victim blamed aside, he was forced her to give oral sex, then he ejaculated on her stomach. The interesting thing about that is she done appear to report it for a day or two, told her mother, and they were going to call some expert evidence to talk about, expert witness to talk about, I think it's Professor Laura King, expert witness to talk about delay. It's so usual for rape victims to delay reporting. No. But there was physical evidence here, and the guys, it's just, okay, it may be that it was a one-off, but it's cost him his career, his freedom. He'll have to register as a sex offender now. So it's all pretty sordid, that. Another case here from this is Tiffany Haddish sued for molestation. Actress lawyer claims were bogus. Yeah, this is a woman who's been accused of molesting a 14-year-old girl in 2013. I don't know if this woman's dyke, Tiffany Haddish, but yeah, I'll keep my eye on that. I'm inclined not to. Jane Doe, see. I mean, this shouldn't be allowed. Okay, there is an argument for anonymity in criminal trials and for the accused, certainly before being charged, but not in civil cases. If a woman or if anybody is going to sue somebody for sexual abuse or anything, that person should put her name or his name on the writ. So this shouldn't be allowed. This should be allowed. She should leak her name. Yeah, she should leak her name to the press. It's outrageous, this sort of thing. Here, Robin Niketa. Oh yes, this is likely to be a big case. This is a so-called social worker, whatever they want to call them, in Colorado. They call it child protective services there. It's abbreviated to CPS, but in Britain, CPS is the Crown Prosecution Service, or the Clown Prosecution Service, as we sometimes call it. This is quite likely going to be a very big case because she's been accused of fabricating allegations against parents. It's probably take a couple of years to come to fruition, as it were. So if I haven't joined the Queen by then, I'll add it to the full soap timeline. If I'm alive and at liberty. Right, this is another Guardian article written by Nadeem Badshaw. Yeah, I bet you are. Well, is it a woman? Let's have a look. No, it looks like a dude. Yeah, formerly senior reporter on News Tonight newspaper. Number 10, retained cabinet minister and aide accused of sexual misconduct reports. Anybody can be accused. One claim of sexual assault allegedly dismissed on the grounds that the man had women throwing themselves at him. It happens. It happens. This isn't apologia. This is envy talking. Well, I'm not quite so envious now. Not with this Me Too garbage. But this sort of thing happens. Women are attracted to this. You know, to men in positions of power. The woman was working number 10 when she says the incident happened, made multiple complaints about the man's appointment, but he remained in the role. Yeah, so perhaps she's a serial complainer. She also alleged on hearing of the allegation the man's boss dismissed it on the grounds that the accused person was good looking at women throwing themselves at him. They're pathetic, these women. You know, if a guy comes on to you, that's wandering hands, slap his face. This is the way women were like when I grew up in the 1960s, and there are still some women like that today. And Kelly J. Key Minshall's only 5'1", but any guy who tried it on with her would. I try to think what she'd do to him. So this is all just garbage. George Foreman, the boxer, has been accused by, I think, 2 women of raping them or something. when they were younger. This is in California again. This is like because statutes of limitations have been removed thanks to that creature Gloria Allred and her lies about Bill Cosby. If you're not familiar with the Cosby case, if you think he's a serial rapist, check out my video, The Prior Bad Acts of Gloria Allred, and maybe you'll think again. There's another guy here, another actor, somebody I've never heard of, but apparently he's quite famous. Ryan Seacrest says sexual abuse accuser demanded $15 million. His former E-Network stylist saying Susie Hardy demanded $15 million from before she went public with her story. This is only sexual harassment, as it claimed here, but again, no police report, no. Yeah, they're pathetic, these women. She was bold to speak out after the Harvey Weinstein scandal. She dropped her Nicky Harvey as well. Just unbelievable. Yeah, literally unbelievable. Right, what we got here? This is another one. We've got some older stuff and some files which will say you can't hold hands with a rapist and other utter nonsense by A.W. Knaves. Last week, jurors at an inquest into the death of a bright young PhD student named Josie Jolly heard that she reported being raped in December 2019. Her complaint was originally reported to Sussex Police. I'm not sure if the guy was convicted of that. It says here, oh no, the fact the police had thought there was not enough evidence. There was enough evidence in the case to the fact that the police had felt there was enough evidence in the case to recommend to CPS would lead to the conclusion they felt a conviction could be obtained, but that would also be up to the CPS to decide whether to prosecute. I don't know. This. Yeah, she committed suicide at the age of 25. Sad, but some of these pathetic women, you know, pathetic. And they're brainwashed as well. They go to doing some unrelated research, and the University of Michigan has got its own sort of rape crisis, its own rape crisis department. So I presume that most American universities have its own LGBTQ section. Oh, seriously? No, they are. It may be difficult to believe, but if you look at some of the cases on the False Rape timeline, it's always universities. These girls have sordid sexual liaisons, and they're brainwashed by feminists into thinking they've been raped. Right, this is K-pop. That's Korean stuff. 4 K-pop idol scandals that almost cost them their careers. This is various cases. I'll look into that. Mostly Korean men, they sort of wear makeup, and Korean music and actors and musicians and actors, they wear makeup. They are, well, if I were Korean, I wouldn't mind looking like that. They're incredibly handsome, and women, and this is a woman here, what's her name? Gisto, yeah, she's very nice. And it's a double-edged sword, you know. Nowadays it is. League One footballer charged with rape while another EFL player. Oh yeah, EFL player. Yeah. There's one bloke being charged and no one's been acquitted. There's William Cocolo and this is Callum Harriott. On the 5th of December 2019, I was arrested for rape I did not commit. The arrest relied upon baseless allegations which were exposed by a belated full investigation on before the trial commenced. The false charge should never have reached trial. Not only were my family and I devastated by the false claim, but my life was upended and my career shattered. The public had appeared to have already made up their minds due to reports in the media, and for me to be exonerated by a unanimous jury verdict 3 years later. Not only the publicity, but also the lackadaisical way the false claim was handled compounded the damage. It took until April 2021 before CPS decided to charge me, and 3 years for the case to come to trial. Yes, rape complainants make similar complaints. The jury took 4 hours to exonerate me with a unanimous verdict of not guilty. I gather he wasn't too pleased with. Oh yeah, this is during this is what really gets me. During the trial, his court area who played for the US. I don't know what that means for the US between 2019 and 2021. Met the alleged victim in the Turtle Bay bar in Colchester before they later headed to the Attic nightclub with their respective friends. Later at Harriet's flat, and he claimed he'd offered the alleged victim, who was in her 20s, some water before she had to sleep in the spare room to help her sober up. No, it was a bit before that, actually. I think it's a when the CPS put unbeknownst to me, she was consensually involved in sexual activity with 2 different men in 2 different toilets on the same evening. She and her friends later came to her flat. Oh, seriously? Just yuck. I mean, no. Stay away from these bitches. I'll probably add that to the timeline with a warning note. Right, there's another Indian case here. If Jaipur is in India. Bogus rape cases keep cops on toes. Gang rape is a heinous crime, but a large number of false gang rape cases are being registered in the state. By the total number of such cases registered in 21, half were found to be bogus. Last year in 2021. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, English isn't their first language. Last year in 2021, 968 gang rape cases were registered in the state. Out of 968, there were 483 cases which the police have filed FRs. Most of the cases were found false, fake. There are 391 cases in which the police have presented challan. I'm not sure what that means. Challan, that's probably an Indian word. I'll have to look that up. Police is investigating 94 cases. Yeah, I say English isn't their first language, but this is definitely going to be added to the timeline. That's from August 23rd. So what have we got next? There's definitely some older things here. So definitely some older cases. Look at that. We probably won't be added for a while. I found an interesting case from the turn of the 20th century, about 1913, I think, of a case in America of a woman who was probably delusional. I've got a few old ones, but there's not that many left now because there weren't such cases weren't reported so much. So there wasn't the media there is now, and very often cases were they were reported were very circumspect. They'd seldom use the word rape, but so outraged or assaulted. A woman was assaulted. That went old talks well after the 19th century. Japanese student fined 26,000 RM. I'm not sure what that is. Malaysian currency. That's on March this year. Japanese private college student was fined 2,000 RM by the magistrate's court. He's really guilty to make a false police report claiming she was robbed and raped by a group of African men. Dear oh dear. Dear oh dear. So is it just America where I can't blame that on white supremacy. Right, I'll have to leave that for the moment. I'll come back to it tomorrow. I'll finish this off tomorrow night. I've got a busy day tomorrow, and then it takes a while to assemble these files. But there's an interesting where is this? Interesting. There's a firm of solicitors which I'll I'll cover that. Cover that. I'll put that at the top of the file. Some interesting. I'm slightly disappointed at their response, but it throws a bit of light on. I'll read out some of the cases. Throws some light on cases that don't get reported. A lot of these false rape cases don't get reported at all anywhere. So I'll come back to that tomorrow, but this will all be in one piece for you, obviously. And we'll have some fun. Okay, we're back the following night. Apologies for any what they call them Franken edits, don't they? Like I say, my editing skills are not that great, but as long as it's a continuous flow, I edit out things like try to edit out train noises and traffic, and this desk creaked quite a bit, so to edit those out. Apologies for that. Right, back to the file. Where are we? First, this is absolutely this is just absolutely silly. This is from a very recent report. Derbyshire Telegraph, Derbyshire Live. Cops who slapped and pinched women's bottoms in Derby are sacked. Their actions amount to gross misconduct. 2 police officers have been dismissed without notice after one was found to have slapped a female colleague's bottom and the other pinched a female colleague's bottom on a night out in Derby. I mean, this is absolutely SCI Whitworth. What does that stand for? SCI Special Constable. Special. He alleged to have pinched the female special constable's bottom, and SPS Sims was alleged to have slapped the female. I mean, I mean, it's just. I really just beggars belief. So these women reported them. Whatever happened to the blue code? I think they're going to be, you know, as I say, if a guy does that to you, slap his face. No, I mean, it's just beyond belief, this nonsense. Right, now to the firm in the north of England. They've got at least one office down here. I won't name them, but here we are. This is from their website. They've got some very good blurb on this page about the prevalence of false rape allegations in particular. They cite the Philadelphia sexual assault victim study. I'm not sure if I got that on the timeline. British Home Office study. I'm not too impressed. I've got these studies on the timeline, including the what's it called now? There's one men's rights activist always cite. I can't remember offhand, but it's on. I think it's on the site. But I'm not too impressed with studies because you know I prefer to go direct to actual cases. But here, after this, they relate a case which is definitely not been reported. Our client contacted us when he had false allegations of rape made against him by a woman he met on a night out after New Year's. Why am I not surprised? While both our client and the complainant in question had been drinking on this occasion, our client maintains that he had a solid memory of the events of the night he met the complainant. So they meet in a bar, Leeds city centre. I used to live in Leeds actually, a lifetime ago, half a lifetime ago. He reckons that they meet in a bar in Leeds city centre. They flirt, exchange intimate touches and kisses, as you would do after you just met. Events progressed quickly, initiated by the complainant, who requested that our client take her back to his nearby hotel in a cab, where they were going to play dominoes, no doubt. In the hotel, sexual acts took place with the consent of both parties. If you can hear a beeping, it's the alarm, or I think it's the sort of fire alarm, or the whatever smoke detector. Sorry about that. In the hotel, sexual acts took place with the consent of both parties involved. After this, our client drove the complainant home to ensure she was okay and kissed each other goodbye. I should say they kissed each other goodbye. Well, I'm not arguing about grammar. So she claims our client gave us instructions at the police station, which she detailed his account of these events to demonstrate his innocence of the case. Our specialist sexual offences defence lawyer advised him to make a full comment interview to avoid the police making any adverse inferences or drawing false conclusions that our client had not given a full account of the events. Our client's case was resolved when the police decided no further action was necessary. So this is a stupid woman. She's gone back to a hotel with a guy for sex. So let's face it. I mean, why else would she have gone there with him? They have sex, and then sometime later she withdraws her consent. Or maybe, I can't stress this enough, check out the Rodney Anderson case on the False Rape Timeline, and the district attorney, the assistant district attorney, explaining why they were not bringing charges against him. This happens a lot. I asked them, I didn't want any details, I just wanted a date, but they wouldn't even give me a date, so I would assume it was early this year. I'm definitely going to add this to the timeline. But there are lots of cases like this. They're put down as unfounded, and the sexual grievance industry makes a lot of them. Stupid women, utterly stupid, and quite likely a slut as well. This isn't an allegation of rape, but it would have been destroyed this guy's career. I'm looking for this one. I'm hoping to find it, but I haven't found it so far on either the regular internet or Newsbank. Teachers' sex occult acquittal and solicitors obtain vital CCTV. This is a teacher who was facing a claim that he groped a teenager's backside, and he was questioned voluntarily by police, charged 7 months later, brought to court 7 months later. Then he switched to this firm, and they obtained CCTV evidence previously undisclosed, and the CPS took it to trial anyway, and he was acquitted. And the court also ordered that his defence fees be paid through central funds, so that is an emphatic acquittal. Now you can imagine what might have happened if they hadn't found this CCTV evidence. I mean, why would a teenage girl lie? They do this all the time, and it's, you know, kids nowadays are savvy. They know about these things, and they know that the easiest way to destroy somebody they don't like, a man they don't like, and very occasionally a woman, is to make false allegations of a sexual nature. There's lots of teachers of falsely accused of not just of sexual offences, but of slapping and all sorts of things. Well, when I was at school in the 1960s, that happened. You know, when I was I didn't go to school until I was 5.5. When I was about 6, I've described this elsewhere, I've written about this elsewhere. I was a teacher, I was painting the ceiling and with a paintbrush. With a, we were, it's an art lesson, I was flicking paint at the ceiling. And she grabbed me by the arm, slapped me around they couldn't do that nowadays, but they did then. And kids know it, and especially teenagers. And that's a wicked allegation, wicked. And just one more. This is a man who was charged with sexual assault on a child under 13 after allegations were made against him by his best friend's daughter. And it was a shared home. In the shared home, he was in the kitchen when the girl's younger brother came in late at night. He began to assist the boy back to bed, picking him up and carrying him back to his room, but encountered a debilitating stomach cramp as he did. This caused him to ask for help. The boy's sister was sleeping on the bed by nudging her awake. She alleged at the time that this guy touched her sexually. Additionally, she alleges 5 years ago a separate incident of inappropriate sexual touching took place. She just remembered it now. I mean, his legal team successfully gathered witness statements and evidence that proved his history of a debilitating disease that caused him to suffer gastric attacks without warning. We were able to demonstrate there was insufficient evidence to support conviction of our client for the alleged sexual assaults. I mean, these kids are just 5-day trial, and he was proven not guilty. I might be able to find that one. I must say there were a lot. I'm disappointed they wouldn't at least give me dates for them, but I can understand it though. But there are lots of cases like this that don't get anywhere near a courtroom, and there's at least one organisation, I think it's 2, which deal with false allegations against teachers and carers. There's one called actually false allegations against teachers and carers. So, what can you say? Believe women, believe children, believe Joe Biden. On that subject, I'm not sure we can believe anything the American government says. It isn't gaslighting anymore. She's outright lying about the border, about inflation, about everything. I think America's almost lost. Right, and talking of America, this is an article from The Spectator, not that Spectator. This is the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire Students newspaper since 1923. Future fallout from the Depp versus Heard trial. This is by some airhead named Bridget Maxwell. This was May the 14th this year. While I am glad domestic violence against men is being destigmatised, I dread the repercussions this trial will place on women. Over the years, a narrative was created that false allegations are common in most sexual assault or rape cases. They are very common. Stuff here about the Me Too movement. Men's angst of being falsely accused of rape is deemed rational, but not the 1 in 5 women who are victims of attempted or completed rape in their lifetime? Question mark. Again, this is Mary Koss. This is garbage. But I suppose it depends how you define attempted rape, doesn't it? I suppose a guy who buys a woman a drink, it could be construed as attempted rape. Just batshit crazy, these women. And there's lots more about this. It is disheartening to know this country has a rape report rate of less than 20%. How does anyone know? Not all men is a cop-out argument. I mean, just... Bridget Maxwell is a 3rd year journalism and political science student. I might send her an email actually. I might send her an email about this video. Here's another recent one. I thought I have got a lot of old ones. I've got a tranche of them from United States university publications, but I'll make this the last one. This is from Spalding Today, dated March the 9th this year. A 54-year-old man is fighting to force the police to remove an unsubstantiated rape allegation from his records, plural. The man was accused of raping his then girlfriend in September 2019, but the woman provided no further evidence and never attended a police interview to prove the claim. And no forensic evidence, of course. Despite the case being taken no further as a result, the man in question, who we are not naming, says the fact that he was arrested for an allegation of rape remains on the police national database, something is hanging over him. The force officer retains his DNA and fingerprints. I'm afraid that's the way things are. That's the... And don't forget we've had all this BS about non-crime hate incidents, so the police are just total arseholes, but this, once your name is on the database, it's never coming off. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know the full facts of the case, but it's most likely women do this, they get angry, they make false allegations, and as I've pointed out many times, and there's a good interview with Jordan Peterson on the timeline. Men, as I've said, men use violence, women use attack people's reputations, women's reputations as well as men. So that's the false rape timeline number 70. Next one, further Potpourri 3, or maybe something historical. But I will try to do a live hangout. I've got a few people who will probably turn up. Some of these live hangouts and these live streams get thousands or tens of thousands of views, and I struggle to get half a dozen. But that's the way it goes, I'm afraid. The truth is stranger than fiction, but never as popular.